I don't even think selling a CD for $100 is what the valuable thing is. I think that the valuable thing is to be creative with how you monetize the connection that the music created.
Yeah.
Because we got trained by tradition on how to monetize the connection.
How he thinks about monetizing like his connections, right? So if you know you have a strong connection with your fan base, what are all the different ways of monetizing that? He touched on it. It's a really dope clip. Let's talk about it.
I don't even think selling a CD for $100 is what the valuable thing is. I think that the valuable thing is to be creative with how you monetize the connection that the music created.
Yeah.
Because we got trained by tradition on how to monetize the connection. But, you know, there's other people participating in that transaction that didn't have nothing to do with how the connection was made.
So I was confused a little bit from that last part, right? Because the question was, for those who don't know, it was like, yo, can anybody, do the $100 mixtape? And he was like, yo, I don't think I'm special, right? But it's all about, how creative you can get. Now, that last part where he said the whole, there's certain people that are like not even connected to the connection. He's talking about like Apple. He's talking about like some of the, the people, the middleman people that, may have to pub it up and get a percentage and things like that. He's like, yo, what are the creative ways I can monetize this particular thing? And I'm like, that's so simple, but so impactful at the same time, because now it gets us to open our minds to know that as long as there's people who rock with us, we could try this and that and this over here in order to put a price tag on it, and they will buy it, right? Yeah. Like, who was to say if I saw something really dope that I was looking up, like NFT memberships, right? So it gets rid of, some of these transaction fees like Stripe and things like that, where it's everything's going through the blockchain, and you can see like you have a timestamp with the NFT, and when that timestamp is done, you have to renew your membership, and everything that we know of exclusive content, VIP status, that is now all through just the blockchain, right? And I'm like, that's a different way of showing the after show. That's a different way of, giving people exclusive access to us. And those are the different ways he's kind of referring to. Like, how creative can you get with monetizing the connections? Because once you have that attention from somebody, once you have that trust from somebody, it's almost like you can steer them in any different direction as long as you don't break that trust. As long as you deliver with what you're going to say you're going to do, they're there. So try new things. Try, to give them access that no one else has. Try a certain price that no one else has. Get inspired. He got inspired by a restaurant. Get inspired by something that's outside of your industry, and try it in your industry and see how it works out. But get creative instead of doing the typical, okay, once I'm in this year, I have to put out these products and services, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do that, and then I have to do that. And just to piggyback off the first lesson we did, once you get creative, attach it to a model that already works. just to test it out. We got to test out, you know, we got to test certain things out in the market. It's not throw up in the air and pray to God and be like, he said it's going to work, even though that does work a lot of times. But I don't want to, I definitely don't want to get bow later. But
facts.
I'm saying that we also have to go with facts that come with our industry. And the only way we do that is testing it. But that creative vibe, when you get that connection, is super golden. Like, I don't know why I really like that bar, but it like opened my mind. With those two lessons together, I was like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing?
For sure. You know what's interesting is that in business, in most business, one of the most profitable yet underutilized areas of business, and I almost want to say traditionally by people of our culture, right? Mm-hmm. Minorities, Black and brown folks, just because I know there's, of course, an element of exposure, and then there's an element of most of our skill sets and creativity being on the consumer-facing side of the business, that we don't focus on a segment of it that deals in distribution, manufacturing, right? So when he's talking about there's someone who is profiting or getting, a percentage of the connection, although they're not involved in the connection, like you mentioned, he's talking about the Apples and the other DSPs that are going to profit just by simply sharing your music. They did nothing. Right? All they did was they served as a bridge to help you gain access to a listening base or to the world. Well, that same concept exists in a lot of other parts of the business. You got to think about, your domain and your website host. That's someone who's profiting off of a connection that had nothing to do with the connection. The Stripes, a lot of these like paywalls or the people that connect money, the PayPals, same thing. They created a solution to serve as almost like a middleman for the business. Gateway, they did nothing. They did nothing to help you in creating your business. I mean, of course, they're helping you collect payments. So there's a contribution there, but it's so fundamental, so practical, and it serves a wide range of business. You go on another side, you start thinking about the manufacturing, right? Like the people who design the clothing, or not design the clothing, but they make the clothing, they print the clothing, they do all of this other stuff. They ship it. There's so many other areas and channels in business that profit from your creativity, from your desire to bring something to the marketplace, that I think that same line has to open up our minds to say, man, what other middleman or gateway am I using so much of that I can just buy out or create that almost arm or channel for myself and for others? Yeah. And I do think that is a big part of where we're headed. I know it's something that you and I have talked about, okay, how can we stretch our move back to be a layer, or how can we stretch what we're doing to be a layer back, a layer deeper, and not just more broader or more front facing, but how can we go deeper into the roots, into the technology, into something that spreads across that gateway or across that bridge so that more people can benefit from it because they're using it or all using it, but we don't own it. And so we're losing a third of our profits just off of that.
Ownership, people. Ownership.